What's happening, chess fans? Welcome to Net Chess and Chill. Today is episode 118 of my Rapid Rating Climb series, and we are on a journey to 1000 ELO, and we are closer than ever. Today's episode is going to be a little different. I'm going to review 3 of the games that I just played because I just recorded 3 games with scuffed audio. So we're going to just kind of go over the games. You're going to be able to see kind of my thought process. I'll try and talk you through it, and yeah, I guess without further ado, let's get right into it. So, I'll give you guys some music in the background. This first game that I played is against Ardal Chanul. He's rated 1023. I'm currently rated in this game. Actually, he gained rate. This is after the game. I lost this game. I made a big blunder in the middle of the game, and it just kind of lost me the game. I played on after the blunder for a little bit, but I ended up resigning, I think. So in this game, I started off with the London. He plays e6, which is peculiar to me, but I just go for my bishop coming out to f4, excuse me. He plays the move c5, so a lot of the times in this position, I'll play the move c3, but I think it's just better to play e3, and the computer agrees with me. So he takes, I take, and now in this position, he brings his queen out to f6. Now, I move my bishop over to kind of threaten the queen and defend this pawn, but that's not the best move. Let's look at what the best move is. The best move is to actually bring my queen up to just defend everything. And this is actually kind of a nice square for the queen. I don't know if I would play it naturally because I want my knight on that square. So, yeah, that's a weird move for me. But I did this. He brings his queen back. I just go for regular development. I liked this move because it defended my pawn. So especially when he plays like a move like this where I'm going to need to move my bishop or lose it. I decided to drop my bishop back. It's not the best move. What's the best move? Is to let him take the bishop. And I can recapture with the knight if that's what he wants to do. Interesting. So he goes for this check. I block it with my pawn. He leaves his queen there for basically the rest of the game. So this was a little inaccurate on my end. I thought about this move, just saying get the queen out of here. Like, I really, during the game, was like, let's play this move. I was worried about him. I mean, now that I look at it, it really doesn't matter where he goes. If he does something like that, I can literally discovery check and win his queen. So if he drops back to here, I would just take, right? He can't come here. He can rotate across the whole board if he wants to play a move like that, or he could even come all the way over to here. So other than that, I really didn't see any squares for him to go to, you know. So like, he's got those. And he can also, well, actually, he can't go to that one. He can come all the way back. Yeah, he can't go to any of these squares. Can't go here. I mean, the reason I'm saying he can't go to that square is because I get a fork, and he can take, but then my bishop takes. So yeah, he didn't really have anywhere to go. I'm basically trapping his queen like that. I didn't... Oh. Taking with the pawn. Just better. I might have played something like that if I really looked at it, but I just don't see why I would do that. Taking with the bishop feels really natural. So I develop my bishop. I'm trying to castle. I back my bishop up. He does this. Now this is where I straight up blunder. I take with my queen. The reason I do that is because typically I have a piece on this square. In this position, I did not. I actually had to back the bishop up. And he saw that that gave him an opportunity to play a move like this. And so in my... I just played this move very quickly and immediately saw that I just made a huge error because his queen defends that square. So the best move for me here is actually to threaten his queen. You know, we're basically playing... This is the same thing that I was talking about earlier. He doesn't really have many moves. He can come over here, or if he wants to keep defending the knight, he's actually really only got like this square to do it with. And there might be a way that I can tactically win the knight still. Yeah, so I didn't see that. He took, and I played on for a few moves, trying to just be solid. It wasn't the best move there. The best move was to try and create some sort of counterattack. I didn't like that he can just, like that, right? But the whole thing is he needs to take because I'm attacking his queen. So, he can just capture with the rook, and then he loses the bishop. So that would be something. I would gain a pawn for the transaction, but I'm down a lot of material here, and I didn't see that move, and he ended up getting even a pawn on me. And things just didn't really feel like I was going to be able to win them. If you look at the eval bar, I'm completely lost here, especially when I played a move like this. He just took my rook, so I felt pressured, and I didn't feel very good about that game, but it says that I played relatively well, and I think that I did up until the moment that I just lost board vision and didn't see that his queen defended the h5 square, but you live and you learn. So we'll get into the second one. The second game I played a lot cleaner. Again, I'm pretty upset with myself that I filmed 3 games and they all had scuffed audio, so I am familiar with the games because I just played them and I just recorded them and I just analyzed them, but I'm doing it for a second time so that I can give you guys a little something for the day. This game I ended up winning. I played with 80.7% accuracy. My opponent didn't play a very good game. He played with 59.5. I had 1 miss and 1 inaccuracy, and we got another London in. This one felt a lot more standard than the last game. So he plays c5, I play c3. I typically think that that's how you should play the London, because if he takes, you definitely want to be taking with the e3 pawn, especially if he's going to do something like this, you have to. So I get my knight into the center of the board. I just think it's a decent move. It's not the best move. The best move is actually to get this knight developed, like continue developing. And I did feel that I should get that knight in, because this is a pretty annoying move. Excuse me. Because I'm going to have trouble getting my bishop here without just having to take. I mean, I can just back up. It's not the worst thing in the world, but... So in this position, I'm like, all right, develop the bishop. So it's not the best move. This is just a better move all around. It forks pieces. And and it also is a discovery attack on his bishop. So if he takes, he loses the bishop and pretty much the pawn as well. I'll be definitely gaining that pawn back in the future. And yeah, he has to take, so it just hangs the bishop. And then like I'll get the pawn and he'll have kind of a weakened structure, and yeah. Anyways, so I didn't see that, obviously. This was a blunder, and I also didn't see why. It is because if I just take the knight, the bishop is hanging, right? Like, he can recapture this way, but, it's hanging. So, just the discovery attack, I just wasn't really seeing it. And I think my opponent saw it, is why he took with the bishop. I think he understood that that's a fork, so he didn't want to deal with that. But he knew he was kind of in a predicament. So I do this, he moves his knight back, I bring the rook around, he plays this move, attacking my bishop, and I decide to back the bishop up, but the best move by far, I think, is still something like this. Let's actually see. Oh, excuse me, duh. We have a fork here on b4. So, yeah, I back the bishop up, which is whatever, but then I actually do see that there was a fork there, and, but I also think that this is strong. It just gets the knight out of my world, and he comes in, and in this position, I just decide to attack the queen and relieve him of the defense. If he backs up to here, I saw that this was a fork, and if he just backs up to here, I can just win the knight, and so he does back up just to there, and I do take the knight. So we played like a 1200 in that game. Our opening was really good, but our middle game was I mean, it could have been better. So we got a victory for that. And then this game is the one that got me over 980, which is the highest. I'm rated 983 right now, rapid. I played 81% accuracy, and my opponent played 79.5. And my opponent played in a way this game where I don't like how people do this a lot of the times. When you have like a even material, they're just down to trade everything and go to this really boring game where we both have 2 rooks, the same amount of pawns. It just seems like a boring game to me, and every time I play them, it's just the guy that wins is the one that doesn't mess up. Otherwise, it's a draw. Like, typically is how these games seem to go for me. Now, everyone in my rating range is not very good, so somebody, even me, so like somebody messes up usually, but a lot of them end up in a draw, and I'm just not a fan. So he plays like a London. I push for c5. This is how I play every London game that I go against. I think it's annoying. Now, that's not the best move. Bring my queen out right away is a better move. Because if he brings his queen out, I can play this. And we're asking him to take the queen, right? Because then we open up the rook file. And, whoops. And it's supposed to be something that we want to do. I've yet to have but so much success with such a thing. But I know that with good play, it's in your advantage to have this file opened up. So I don't do that. I just develop the knight. Then I go for this pin, which is not a good move. This is just better still. But also, I think that bringing my bishop out to here is a fine move. Or even I could potentially think about leaving it at home in this kind of structure maybe. But development is what I strive for, usually just getting all my minor pieces out as quick as I can. So he takes. I didn't really expect that. I thought it was maybe a questionable move, and the computer agrees. I play E3 or E6, excuse me, wrong side of the board. That's an inaccuracy by me as well. Just pushing all the way for E5 is a better move because the bishop needs to back up, and I can even chase the bishop down with my knight. And I can also just push by if I really want to, and which is what I would do so, you know, with this move, the bishop is not going to take because it's defended, right? So the bishop's going to back up to G3, and then we would actually push and put pressure on the pinned piece, PP on the PP, and we'd be winning this knight. So, and lots of center space as well. So I took the pawn, greedy little guy that I am. He brings his knight in. Now, this is where I'm just like, man, I hate games like this. I mean, so I take the bishop. He takes with the queen. I was thinking about taking here, but I didn't want his bishop to really do anything. I didn't want his bishop to live for some reason. So I actually played bishop back, which is not the best move. The best move is still to just get this queen out, boy. That way, even if he does take, I can capture back with the queen. He takes. I take with the pawn. He takes. I take with the queen. I don't like these positions. Like, I mean, we do have some pieces on the board. This just is always a really boring thing to me. It says I have a very, very, very slight advantage, but I think it's just because of my rook, right? My rook is a little better than his. I could have even left this one here and then brought this one, I think is an even better move. Let's see. Yeah. So the point is I'm putting pressure on this, and I can use this pawn to attack. Because we do as well have this pawn, so I have pawns. I can create weaknesses on this side of the board, and we'd have I have a majority on this side. So in an endgame, if I could destroy this enough, we should be winning. I push this pawn. He pushes by. This is a moment where I kind of made a mistake. I pushed this pawn forward, and that's a mistake in my eyes just because he can capture. I was thinking, yeah, my queen covers that square, but he can actually just capture because his queen still covers, and I can't really recapture. And, you know, as long as I can prevent him from pushing further, but he's got a pawn pretty far down the board at that point. So I played this. He didn't do anything, and I captured immediately just because I didn't want that situation to happen. The best move here is to actually just get my queen up here looking at this. Um, yeah, I don't know. I was worried about that pawn, so I took it. This kind of sucks. I brought my queen over here, pinning the knight to the queen, but he just played this, so he kind of just, um, yeah, I think this was even better. Opening up the structure a little bit for him. But he did this, and then he played the move. I brought my knight or my rook out. I recaptured with the knight, and it's better to actually take with the pawn. I considered taking with the pawn in the game, but and making these two strong kind of pawns in the center. But ultimately, I decided with the knight capture to keep kind of us with the same amount of pawns on that side of the board, and we both just have passed pawns that we both need to worry about. So he got a little weird and tactical here. I wanted to play queen to b4, but I wanted to defend this pawn first. So I ended up playing the move rook to c8, and in this position he played rook to c1. I don't think it's a bad move by any means. It's creating some things in the position though. So now I finally get my queen to b4. It's not the best move, but he ends up attacking my knight, which I was like, crap. This has got to be worse for me. But I looked at it and I decided taking with my queen was a good move. Him taking with the rook. Now in this position, I was like, I'm going to lose this pawn because I'm going to move my, I don't know, knight or something. And he's going to take. And then I'm going to take, and he's going to take the pawn. But really, in reality, if that happened, if my rook is on the d file, I would be threatening checkmate on the next move. So he cannot take this pawn. I didn't see that in the game, but that's kind of what I was thinking. But I did end up finding knight to b6, and that's what I played. And it threatens his rook, and this keeps everything kind of together for me. It also puts pressure on this pawn, because he's going to need to move his rook, right? And he can't go here or here, so I'm more than likely going to be able to get the pawn. And I was worried about, you know, just getting an equal exchange for everything. I didn't want him to be able to get the pawn and then have to worry about this all game, and I'm not able to maybe defend it because it is across the board from my king. And the king is a good guy to help stop some of these pawns, and he's really far away. So in this position, he, you know, we got a lot going on. The rooks see each other. He's going to need to take is definitely the move, because if not, I have checkmate. I didn't, like I said, I kind of was a little nervous in this position and didn't exactly see that. Well, I mean, I did see that this is checkmate. I just wasn't really ringing in my head true when he played this move, which is straight up a blunder because it hangs a rook, but it also, worse than that, just hangs checkmate. And so I take the rook, which is a missed opportunity because this is just checkmate. But I also thought that if he does exchange this rook, I have plenty of, I'm gonna win the game in my opinion. So yeah, obviously, you know, if you free material, that's awesome, but look for better, right? This is a checkmate. So his king has no luft created. He would be screwed. So yeah, that was a good game by me. It says I played like a 1300. My opponent played like a 1250. I really feel like he played well up until, you know, that move. The last move is a blunder for sure, but I mean, this was even a pretty cool idea. He's like, he's got to move this, but he didn't really follow up. Like, what a weird follow up. Like, let's keep attacking the knight. Like, I don't really see what the point of that is. Like, sure, I can't go here and I can't go here, but I mean, I can go back. I can also just come here. I just didn't really see the point of the thing. Like, he's not trapping my knight or anything, so. I mean, you do get to advance the pawn a little bit, but you gotta look at what's going on. Like, this is just a lot going on, especially the checkmate. I mean, number one, you gotta understand that that's happening. And I did see it. When he pushed the pawn, I just kind of like malfunctioned and took this rook instead. But regardless, I think that I was gonna be winning the game from that point on. He resigned, so. Yeah, those are my games. I'm rated 983. It's the highest I've ever been rated, so we are getting really close to 1,000 ELO. the first game, the guy that I played, who was rated 1,000, I think that game had ideas of being a really good game up until I hung the queen, right? Like, once I hung the queen here, like, that was, like, to me, this is a pretty good game. Like, I'm actually technically winning in this position. Like, my position's better than his. I have a 1.3 advantage. So, yeah. I need to get prepared for guys that are rated quadruple digits, and I'm getting to play more of them now because I'm getting closer to their rating. So I need to get comfortable with playing guys like that. I don't think he was necessarily better than me. I think that I just completely overlooked. I just played a little fast, and I was nervous, and I overlooked the fact that the queen is just chilling over there. Also, a move like this is just really strong because the queen is running out of spots to go to, and I can basically either win or trap the queen if I'm, if I'm doing well with it. So, yeah, a move like that would have even, a move like this even just makes the queen not a defender of the knight potentially, depending on where he goes. I mean, if he brings his queen all the way to here, we might have like a tactic. I really am not 100% positive what he would do. Say I play this move, Yeah, don't want to play that one. I think this one wouldn't be that bad though. Like, what would you do? And then once he moves the queen away from the knight, you can take the knight. Yeah, alright. Those were fun. You guys got to see my games. The audio should not be scuffed in this video, so thank you guys for watching. If you made it this far in the video, go follow me on Twitch if you want to watch me stream. I'll be streaming later today. I stream on the weekends now, and we just played more blitz chess and stuff. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will catch you tomorrow.